That comic podcast.
Hello. Welcome back to That Comic Podcast. I'm your host, Menti, and with me, as always, are my wonderful sidekicks. First, the yawning Mr. Moshko. Or is that a burp?
Almost a burp.
Almost a burp. Well,
What's up, everybody?
Kudos for catching the burp. And then there's Baby Huey.
What's going on?
Oh, hi.
Oh,
I'm
hi.
not singing.
You wasted a good hello.
You did. We did waste a good hello, but nobody knows what the you're talking about.
That's fine.
So
I know.
Anyway, welcome back. If you are new around here, we are new to this too. So let's jump right into what's going to be the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about today, which is a slew of new Spider-Man 4 rumors, because Spider-Man 4 is the gift that keeps on giving, and God only knows where this movie's actually going to go. It's like every other week, the entire Spider-Man rogues gallery gets brought up as if they're going to be major parts of the movie. I mean, we know Boomerang, we know Beetle, we know Punisher, we know Hulk, we know who did they just announce? Tombstone, we know Scorpion. There's plenty. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much until I have an idea of how they plan on pulling this off. Because we know some of them are throwaway, but we know a lot of them are not. So like Boomerang, who cares? We've heard multiple leakers say Boomerang's in the movie, but who cares? We've heard multiple leakers say Beatles is in the movie. Who cares? They're going to be a montage in the beginning. That's going to be that 20 minutes that we talked about before. But I'm now hearing that not only is Tombstone in the movie, and as we heard, Scorpion's in the movie, they're not going to be major villains, but they are going to play a decent role. So that means that some of who we see is going to affect the plot much more than others. No.
Yeah.
That's the handoff.
That's the handoff.
Is that
It can
handoff?
be. No, I just, you guys both looked at me like you were about to say something, so I was going to give you time to speak because I didn't want to talk over you, Huey.
I will raise my hand.
Okay, thanks. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Tombstone is great because of the last Spider-Man show. The last Spider-Man show has made Tombstone an important character to a lot of us, instead of the throwaway kind of henchman of Kingpin that a lot of us have known from the books and from the animated TV show growing up. But I've never cared so much about the character until that last animated Spider-Man show. And now knowing that it's what's his name? Marvin
Jones the Third.
Marvin the Martian. No, yeah, we say Marvin Jones the Third.
Marvin Jones the Third.
And if you don't know him, I know him from Black Lightning, where he was one of the main villains, and he was awesome. He's one of the best parts of the show, and I think it's a great casting for Tombstone.
Side note: he was also a ghostwriter for Snoop Dogg.
Was he really?
Yes.
Oh my God!
So he's actually a pretty acclaimed rapper.
Is he really, or just writer?
A little of both. I'm not super familiar with his own stuff, but I did hear that he ghostwrote for Snoop and a whole bunch of other people.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Yeah,
multifaceted, a pretty talented individual, and he is a really good choice for Tombstone. No question. I love it. It's a great choice for Tombstone. And it's obviously going to be a Tombstone later than we saw in the last animated show, The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, where we got more of his origin in that other universe. So this one will probably be more of an established kind of crime boss Tombstone instead of like the underling that we're used to seeing, which I also like. And I'm sure he'll play a big role into Scorpion as well. Right. I'm sure they'll be tied together, because I don't think Scorpion's going to get a subdued role like Boomerang, but he's not going to have the main villain role, which God only knows who that is. I'm hearing all sorts of crazy things about who the main villain is.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around a lot of this, because when they first announced this movie, it was like, okay, ground level Spider-Man, cool. They throw in Hulk. Okay, cool. Punisher, fantastic. Then it starts getting a little crazy with all the villains, and they're adding. And I'm trying to justify this whole thing in my mind with, all right, well, there's like 20 million people in New York City. So, we're going to get a lot of these people.
A bunch can be assholes,
you could just walk down the street and see, Jessica Jones right there. So I could see this happening in the movie. But they're layering more and more and more and more on. And most recently, and this comes courtesy of our friend John Roca and Jeff Snyder over there on the hot mic, he was the one to first announce Punisher and Hulk being involved in this movie months before it was actually put out.
So we got some meat behind this rumor.
Yeah, so this information is coming from the same person that information was coming from. But the
So
quote
it's probably accurate.
Yeah, I've had sources reach out
to me personally,
close to the production.
They said, Moshko, you need to hear this.
And someone who was recently at a Disney presentation for the film, so I guess they're already kind of screening some of the stuff. What I'm being told is that the main villain is a female shapeshifter. They've cast the person, so this is already done, so they're hiding this pretty well. But I'm not allowed to say who it is. So Roka knows. I've heard him say it a couple times. He's not going to let this information out. So, you know, I trust him. So, but not sure if they're the chameleon or not, but they are a shapeshifter.
Chameleon makes obviously the most sense. And if you're trying to, and if it's Sony has any say in this, they tried very hard within Craven to make Chameleon a thing. Remember, that was the big end credit tease. Spoiler alert for anybody who gave a crap about that movie. But that makes the most sense when you're thinking about the Rose Gallery. But I've heard also some people say that Sadie Sink is this character, and that Sadie Sink might be playing somebody as well.
So we still don't know who she is. The thing that I've heard and kind of came to the assumption of what might happen here is it was somewhat announced that she would be Jean Grey, major character for the future of the
was
franchise.
It announced?
From multiple people.
Oh no! So
nothing official. Nothing official.
Nothing official.
Nothing official.
All right.
But that was one of the front runners of the character that she would be playing, and then it skipped around to Gwen, all those people. But the thought might be that she is in fact going to play this role of the shapeshifter, which could be Mystique, but Mystique being Jean Grey, with Sadie Sink actually being Jean Grey. So,
well, she wouldn't be actually Jean Grey. She'd be playing Jean Grey in the movie, and then also to be a third act twist where it turns out that it's Mystique.
Right, but we still wouldn't know who actual Mystique is because Jean Grey is actually Sadie Sink.
I get what you're saying. So Jean Grey's never actually in the movie, but we know what Jean Grey looks like because she shapeshifted into her. So it's not like her skin's just going to turn blue and she's going to be like, ha ha ha, I was Mystique all along.
Right. It would be a completely different person.
Interesting. I hope they don't do this because I'm really tired of the Mystique being a good guy thing. Like, I know the books were trying to go down that road a little bit for a while, but
she wouldn't be a good person.
Oh, that's right. You did say villain.
She's posing as Jean Grey.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a big fan.
In the Ultimate Universe, there was a Camellia, which was the sister of Chameleon. Oh. So maybe they're going to go that route.
Chameleon is not big enough of a character that I think anybody would care if they were to gender bend or race swap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't think you'll get the kind of backlash that you have from other characters in the past. So I think you can probably get away with that.
They don't need a gender swap. Just be Dimitri.
Well, right, but what I mean by that is like Norrin Rad to Shah LaBeouf in
I got you.
In the Fantastic Four world. People were furious, even though it technically makes sense. But I also heard some other wild stuff, and the reason where this rumor came from is one of the leakers actually posted a picture of a panel of with some text on it as a hint on who it could be, and the panel came from a character from a storyline that I hate with a fiery passion that every single time it's mentioned I avoid. The best version of this is Across the Spider-Verse and that trilogy, but I am not a fan of The Web and Life of Destiny. I am not a fan of much the Spider, because it takes away from Peter Parker, and great power comes great responsibility, and making the right choice in situations like that he was destined to be this thing, because that is just what happens to, there's always going to be a spider totem in all of the multiverse, that every place has to have a spider character. It takes a lot away from what Peter Parker decided to do with the powers when he got them. So I'm not a big fan of the way that they've expanded the spider character list, we'll say, because I do think it makes the original character more shallow as you add more and more and more and more and more, and it takes away of what makes them special, because they're now it was a predestined thing, not a decision that he made.
I mean, him getting the powers was predestined. Well, actually, no. Someone getting the powers was predestined, because it didn't have to be Peter, because multiverse, there are other Spider-Men that aren't Peter.
Yeah.
So
I get what
the
you're
great
saying,
power,
but there's
it's
no
just how he dealt with it.
Yeah, but it's also that's why it's the web of life and destiny. Like their life is destined to go in a particular direction. That's the whole concept of destiny. So regardless, it's why I have given up on a lot of the Spider-Verse stories. It's why I didn't read any of the Venomverse stories. I don't like that concept very much. But going back to Spider-Man 4 and how it would tie into the greater multiverse and all other Sony projects is that she's rumored to be playing Shathra is how you say her name. She is the sister of who created the Web of Life and Destiny and the daughter of Gaia. In one of the more recent versions where they had that dagger, they were stabbing some of the spider people and it would erase their web, like the actual strand from the Web of Life and Destiny.
Yeah, this is Shathra.
Shaka Khan.
Well, she normally is in like this. She's very dark. She almost looks like Blackheart to a degree from Ghost Rider.
Mm.
So that's what she does have the ability to change her form. So because of that, and the rumor that you were talking about that the villain is a shapeshifter, the thought is that maybe it's as simple as well, I don't want to say simple because none of this is simple, but it could connect to the Across the Spider-Verse stories, and it could also become more multiversal in that regard, because one of the other rumors that Sadie Sink is also playing Mayday Parker. Mayday? No. What is her name?
Everybody.
What's Peter's daughter's name?
Made it?
It's May. Yeah, Mayday Parker.
Okay. All right, good. Well, so I got it. But that was another rumor of who that she's playing. And
There's also Annie Parker in another universe. That was Renew Your Vows.
Well,
I don't. Redhead.
Again, I hate this idea, and I hope that's not true. Because I would go with Mystique over going with Shathra. Because Shathra is it just involves too much. Think of when Madam Web came out and we met the spider individuals. Did you guys see Madam Web?
No,
I think I passed on that one.
Yeah, they touch on the Web of Life and Destiny stuff in there as well, and it's just like I'm not as into it. I hope this isn't the direction they're taking it in, but it would make sense if you're trying to connect it to what Sony is doing as well as the multiverse saga and still trying to keep it a grounded story, is that the story stays grounded up until the end where we get to this much more threatening multiversal kind of character, somebody that could affect other universes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I could see where they would go in that direction. I hope they don't, because I love the idea of a grounded Spider-Man movie that focuses more, like it's right from the comics, and that means a great deal to everybody, but it also means different things to everybody, because Spider-Man books can go in any direction. You can take Spider-Man all over the place, including the Web of Life and Destiny, which I will not be happy about.
Yeah.
So some people love it, and hey, good for you. If you're a big fan of it, I'm sorry to yuck your yum, but it's
yuck your yum.
Wow,
it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. Another thing that's not my favorite. Did you guys hear about Mary Jane or MJ? Shouldn't say Mary Jane because it's not Mary Jane.
That Peter's going to go in a dark, twisted world after he finds out that she's with someone else.
Yeah, that's a fun.
Tell me
rumor.
it's Paul. Tell me it's Paul. Tell me it's Paul. Tell me it's Paul.
It would be really funny if they did that. It would be really funny if we just crap on Paul the whole movie. But apparently he's going to be pseudo stalking MJ and see that MJ has a new significant other, and that's going to turn him darker because he truly gives up on being Peter. Now, this kind of happened with Paul a little bit when he's the Back in Black era, when he was back in the black suit and he was like did he hold Paul like over a roof? He was threatening Paul and Mary Jane, and he like grabbed Paul and swung away with him. And that was and that was also
this was a few months ago.
Yeah. So, and that was, you could, because we haven't actually gone down this road just yet, you could have midway through the movie, the leftover Venom symbiote hits Peter. Peter sees that MJ's with somebody new, and that's what makes him go crazy. Because I don't like the idea of Peter being so emotionally fragile, especially after making a decision to be forgotten by everybody, to then see that decision lead to her having a better life, which, by the way, he only wanted a cup of coffee at the end of the movie because he was scared about hurting her further to now being so upset that she's with somebody else and moved on. It just doesn't jive well with the arc that you've been putting Peter on. But if you put the black suit on him, if you put that black suit on, that changes everything.
Yes, it does.
So that's a way that you can show him going a little darker, and then you could have him in the black suit for Doomsday or in the black suit for Secret Wars, which, where we first saw that suit would work.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it would work.
And it sells more toys.
I almost don't want it to happen as much as I would like to see Black Suit Spider-Man, and it would be a hell of a twist in that movie. But I love the idea of bringing Miles into that story, because as I've said a bunch of times now, as much as I love the black suit and as much as I love Miles, the video games version of that storyline of Miles helping Peter out of that situation is so much better than him in the clock tower. The clock tower is iconic, don't get me wrong. But him be mentoring somebody while being corrupted, and the mentee has to be the one to save him. I just absolutely adore that. Plus, what a great way to establish Miles as a mainstay and a stronger character right off the rip by having him be the person to help Peter. I don't know.
It ain't gonna happen because Marvel doesn't. They're not gonna smart or something. They're not smart to do that.
Oh well, let's not say that. We don't know.
They're hiding a lot.
Well, I'm sorry. Sony's not smart enough to do that.
I don't know who's cooking in this kitchen. I don't know who. Remember, this is supposed to be a big multiversal movie with Venom, and obviously it's not. You know what I mean?
True.
And then it became a street level movie, and then now it's not. And I've still heard people say Daredevil makes an appearance. I don't know about that, but it would make sense. It would make sense. He was in the last Daredevil. He was in the last Spider-Man movie.
He was.
And if you're bringing Punisher in, it wouldn't shock me at all to have him show up in the third act, or even be a post-credit scene about leading into season 2 of Daredevil, where he's building his army. And we did hear the Spider-Man theme song play at the end of the first season of Daredevil Born Again. So there's a possibility that good old...
That's it. We know from Kingpin himself that he's saying that Kingpin can't be in the movies, but could Spider-Man be in the TV shows?
Well, there's rumor that the Kingpin's going to play a major role in the next trilogy of Spider-Man movies. Remember where they were talking about who the main 3 villains for Spider-Man were going to be, and Kingpin was one of the ones that were mentioned?
Right, but Vincent D'Onofrio said, I guess right now he can't.
Yeah, but don't listen to the actors.
No,
they
lie.
True. They lie.
They do.
They get paid a lot of money to lie.
He's still saying, and he said this at LA Comic-Con or whatever this weekend, this last couple of days, that he still would never be able to do Swamp Thing, even though he wants to do it.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. He was so passionate about it. I want him.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I want him to get that role. But how cool would it be if we get that shot of Peter grabbing Kingpin by his chest, not even a shirt, just his skin, and lifting him off the ground? That would be that scene where he's like, "I'm here to kill you," not as Spider-Man, but as Peter. If we get a scene like that, which again, if he's in the black suit, we might get the black suit could turn out to be a trilogy, and him slowly becoming angrier through the 3 movies.
Could be.
Which a better idea than killing that suit in one movie. It's arguably the second most iconic look for Peter.
I would say it definitely is.
There you go.
And for a lot of people, it's their favorite.
I'm right there with him. I'm with people.
Me personally, black suit is my favorite.
I'm right there with you. Completely agree. Black suit Spider-Man is by far my favorite. So I would be interested to see
number
that.
2.
And there means that you could possibly, if this is moving into another trilogy, you can still get the Null storyline down the road and Venom coming back. It's still hard for me to believe that franchise, as bad as it was, made so much money and did so well that they ended it with Venom just, spoiler alert, Venom just, dousing himself in acid and the movie being over. You're like, really? That's so anticlimactic. So I still don't think that's the way it ends. I bet you that they gave up on the idea of this being multiversal because of the backlash of people finding out that, and then saying, fine, we'll push it down the road and we'll connect that more to the Miles story. So when Miles comes into the universe, they bring in Null. That'll give him a hell of an intro too.
Yeah, and Null's coming back in the comics right now. So
Null takes over Peter. I'm serious. There's some strong storytelling potential in that. we are off base by a lot.
Yes, we are.
Moshko, what else do we need to talk about?
Like, and we're already 20 minutes in.
Things are getting a little weird.
That's this movie, though. Every single time something else leaks about this movie, I don't even know if this is a little behind the scenes. We usually talk a lot about when we hear these kind of rumors to whether or not we think there's, how valid they could be. Because we don't want to waste our time with just chasing every single lead when some of them just sound ridiculous. I mean, how many AI pictures have we gotten about who so-and-so's on the movie? And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So this movie's been hard to keep. I don't know how to say it. It's hard to even assume that anyone has an idea on where they're going with this. And because they've been so transparent, I think a lot of people believe they have a better idea of what's happening in the movie than actually is going to happen.
Yeah. When you think about what we saw, so we saw like a week, 2 weeks of great footage, and then everything just got locked down and we haven't seen anything since. With the exception of a couple days ago, there was more stuff with the tank that Peter was battling, where
really?
It looks like it goes through a building, and they're showing him picking what appears to be maybe Hulk lifting the tank up, and Peter's on top of it. But that's another good point. Remember the soldiers who were getting too much gamma radiation apparently is pissing the Hulk off, and that's going to be part of why he gets raged out. Like the amount of plot threads in this movie, it sounds like it's going to be 4.5 hours long. And the Mr. Negative.
Oh my God! I didn't even think about Mr. Negative
on the side of the truck. Yeah,
all this is the montage. Hulk's in for like 30 seconds.
That's that's why the Clayface rumors have been so weird. They're doing this on purpose. I think they're all just messing with us. They're just adding stuff to scenes just as little Easter eggs to keep people guessing. Actually, that's probably a brilliant way to get everyone talking about your project, but have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah,
like
film
James
stuff
Gunn
that's
keeps
never
going.
Going to be.
Well, did you hear James Gunn was like, "Look, I'm not on set. I can't stop the set designers from putting a Batman logo on the set. It's not going to be Matt Reeves' Batman." It's like. I don't know, Mr. Gunn. I don't know. I feel like you could real quick tell them, oh no, we're going to CGI that out, and whoever keeps doing it, they're in trouble.
Yep.
So I think this is just all a ploy.
You're kind of the boss.
Well, it's a ploy to keep everyone talking.
Yes.
And to keep this happening, while still keeping the magic and the mystery alive. So, and it works. It works because we're all still really intrigued. We're all still really excited, but we're all very overwhelmed by everything that we're hearing, which at some point is a negative for your movie. At some point, it's not going to be for normies, like the people who don't care about all this, who aren't.
Oh, when it goes down this whole multiverse thing with the spider web and all that, like it, and you even saw me during this conversation, I start to go, well, that sounds cool, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man sounded cool. Web of Life and Destiny, you already lost me. That's why Spider-Verse does Web of Life and Destiny so well, because it's the Spider Society and the canon events, and like I like the way they handle it so much better than how the comics did. Because the Moreland book, first off, the Moreland book was only like 2 issues long, and then you had to keep up with like 17 other titles at the same time to try and find out how that actual whole story went. But that was okay for one. But then they just beat it to death. Spider-Geddon, end of the Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse versus Venomverse. It's like, okay, too much.
It's every other year they do one of these.
Multiversal things are a great way to, as a MacGuffin, to make certain things happen in a story. But when the story its plot is about the multiverse, it gets convoluted and obnoxious.
I can agree to that.
Like this conversation. Convoluted.
Sorry to be so obnoxious.
No, it's not you. It's the topic. But let's wrap this up in quick 2 minutes. Here's another thing that kind of hit the waves. I feel like we talked about this and actually made fun of features about it. But
we usually make fun of features. What's the
this is another piece coming out from Daniel Rickman. Daniel RPK. He is saying that they're looking to move away from Magneto, which, I mean, you kind of thought that would be the case. And they're moving into a different type of villain.
Don't say Sinister. Please don't
say Sinister.
Please don't say Sinister.
There are two...
Please don't say Sinister.
There are two people that they're setting up to
spotlight. Don't like the way you're laughing.
as the big bads for the next Mutant Saga, and that would be Mister Sinister and Apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Give me a real Apocalypse. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Way more than Sinister.
I think one leads to the next.
The best thing that I've seen Sinister in was Avengers vs. Aliens, when they created the alien Sinister. That was phenomenal.
That was really cool.
But I think Sinister is just obnoxious. Because he's just...
So you're okay with a mutant controlling the xenomorphs, but not alien, but not a robot.
I'm okay with a sinistered version of a xenomorph that controlled the rest of the xenomorphs, yes.
Oh, you just let the alien out of the bag there, Huey. We don't want to have this conversation right now.
To be continued on that one.
Yeah, I got one more episode, then I'll bitch and moan all day.
Yeah, there was a couple names that came up for Mr. Sinister. I don't. John Hamm was one, but I don't see him as Mr. Sinister.
I like John Hamm.
Actually, okay, there is a possibility that this gets the Thor treatment, and where I wasn't a big fan of Thor in the books until Chris Hemsworth Thor, and then I started to enjoy him. Maybe they do the same with Sinister, where I will enjoy the movie iteration, which will slowly kind of make me come around to the books. But every time his character, it's like Kang. It's like when they go, and the main villain is Mister Sinister. I'm like, damn it. Every time. Like even the Deadpool game, when Mr. Sinister shows up and you're like, really?
All right. I guess it depends how he's portrayed.
Yeah, it really, at the end of the day, the right actor can probably make me like him, and get rid of some of the ridiculous nature of Sinister, because he's just so over the top and obnoxious. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I think we'll end it there.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on it? Nothing?
I hate him. All right, you can find the show at That Comic Podcast everywhere online. It's at That Comic Podcast, your social media choice, unless it's Twitter/X, which is That Comic Pod. But again, website is the best place to go. You will find links for all that stuff, plus our merch store, Baby Huey's toy reviews, things like that. But really, the big thing for us right now is YouTube. So if you are listening to this at your favorite podcast platform of choice, switch on over to YouTube to watch our beautiful faces. Well, Huey's.
Yeah.
Man, thanks.
Sorry, I mean, all right, fine. Moshko's too. He's got a little boyish charm to him. Look at him.
I'm all man.
Wow. Anyway, YouTube is
subscribe, people.
Really what we're looking for. So like, comment, hit the bell, all the things you've been told by every YouTuber ever. Now we're going to start saying. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, it goes a long way, and we appreciate the support that we've been given. Thank you for those who already are subscribed. Thank you for those who are checking out the shorts and who are then going to look at the long form, because we would love to see more of that move over. But for everybody who's helping us out, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Minty.
And I'm Moshko.
I'm Huey.
That's that.
Deuces.
That's that.